So, Noah and the flood. I wrote this song as part of our playgroup. If you haven't heard that story yet, you can click on the link and watch that story first. In our playgroup, we were kind of just going through the history of, God's creation, and then what happened after that? Well, what happened after that was we sinned, right? Adam and Eve, they ate the fruit that God told them not to eat, because if they ate the fruit, they would die. And then that caused the whole world to stumble into sin. The next most significant event after that is in Genesis chapter 6 to 9, where we hear the story about Noah, his family, and a great big boat, and how God saved humanity through Noah's family and through every kind of animal in its pairs. The story of the flood gives us answers to many questions that we might have about the world. The most basic question is, what happens if you reject God? The Bible tells us that all the people of the world were only evil all the time. And so God was just grieved that he'd made humans. Noah was a righteous man in the midst of this. And so God chose Noah's family to be the restart of the human race. So on this point, if people understood the significance of the flood, there would be no racism in the world. Because we're all related. We are literally all related. We are literally all children of Noah and his sons. So there can't be any racial tension when we're all actually related. Thirdly, the flood is actually the truth from the Bible about dinosaurs. So when my eldest son was about 5, he suddenly just loved dinosaurs. He knew the names of every dinosaur that there was and get every book, watch every video that there was about dinosaurs. But the problem was for me as a Christian mum, I was like, none of these resources talk about how dinosaurs fit into the picture of the Bible. It was all, millions of years and evolution and all of that stuff. And so I was like praying, I was like, God, please help me to find a resource that tells me how to connect dinosaurs and the Bible. So I went to the local library and it was amazing, right? I type in the search, dinosaurs and the Bible, and guess what came up? There was a book called Dinosaurs and the Bible. And so I borrowed this book, and it wasn't actually a book written for kids. It was just this small little booklet, but it was amazing. It answered every single one of my questions about how dinosaurs and the Bible fit together. And one of the most key things about that was the flood. Because do you know how fossils are formed? Fossils are only formed when something very significant happens. That is, something needs to be buried very quickly, like suddenly, so that it is preserved. Because if something like erodes away over time, you've got nothing left, right? But something needs to be covered very quickly, suddenly, for it to be preserved as it is. And so that's what we've found with lots of all these dinosaur bones, right? But how did that happen? The Bible actually gives us a really simple explanation. Why do we have so many dinosaurs' bones all over the world, perfectly preserved? Well, it's because there was a great flood that flooded the whole earth, and the waters covered the earth for over 1 year. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Non-stop rain, everything was covered. Everything got buried all at the same time in one go, worldwide. I love the story of the flood because I think it is so important for us to teach our kids the truth about what happened to the world, because if we don't teach them about these things, then how are they going to know about judgment? How are they going to know about salvation? How are they going to know about these important things that shape the history of the human race? So check out Noah and the Flood. Such deep truths, but made simple. I really pray that this song will help you to talk to your kids about these important things.